Good morning. My name is Ray. I'm standing here right along Route 80 in the Delaware Water Gap. TLDR, I plan on being the person who takes the longest to complete the Appalachian Trail. I have the fairly unique experience of walking my first piece of the trail probably when I was 2 years old. I was able to do that because of where we had a weekend cottage. You see, my dad was in the military with a gentleman named Frank Jones, who married into the family that owned Kittatinny Canoes. They gave us a space on their land along the Delaware River in the Water Gap, and we put a cabin up there, and the cabin was right here in the woods. So I spent my entire childhood in this area. My bed was probably no more than 50 feet from the cabin, from the AT. I'm on the AT now. I'm going to switch to camera. There's a trail marker right there. Right over there is Dunfield Creek. You can see the guardrails for Dunfield Creek. And our cabin was right in here. As a matter of fact, that glorious oak tree, I'll show you a picture in a minute, and that glorious oak tree was right behind our cabin. So our driveway was approximately here. It's all overgrown now. And our cabin was maybe 50 feet right in there, a small little cabin that we would come every weekend. I spent probably the first 10 years of my life in the summers and occasionally in the winters here up in this area. And this is the road right here. If I walked 50 feet, I was on the AT. The AT goes up there, it crosses under a bridge, and then goes up the mountain, which is where I'm going today. But I just wanted to show that this is how close to the AT I lived when I was 2 years old, and I did my first piece of the trail. I spent my entire childhood. This is my spiritual home. I have some stuff I can show you. Here is a banner from Kittatinny Beach. That's left over from the 60s when we were here. I have some black and white aerial photographs of the whole Jersey side of the Delaware Water Gap. This building here eventually became the bar. This was their beach. This was the stairs down from there. There were some cabins over here. I don't think you can quite see them. Various houses. This was the Joneses' house. This is our little cabin. This is an earlier version of our little cabin. I'll show you another picture in a second. This is where Dunfield Creek comes out right here, and that's where I'm standing. I'm standing right here right now. Here's another picture. That's our little cabin before we built onto it. That's Dunfield Creek. You can see the bridge for it. And there's the Joneses' house and the same stuff I just showed you. Here's one more. This is I have a really good picture here. This is one more of the whole Jersey side, just from a different angle. And where's a really good one? This is the one that shows the cabin in its glory. There's Dunfield Creek, and then that's our cabin there. I have some photographs from my family album that shows some of this. I'll be up here in a few minutes. I'm going to climb up there. That's my sister and I up on the top of the mountain on the Jersey side. And then here is that same cabin. This is a photograph from our family album of that same cabin. It looks like it's taken just from the other side of the Dunfield Creek, but it's a nice clear picture. It's a little more overgrown now. So my plan is to, in section hiking, complete the Appalachian Trail. My plan is to complete the AT as a section hiker. I've done about 200 miles to date. The first big piece I did was in 99, at the end of the summer in 99, right before Hurricane Floyd. I did 80 miles. I did all of Connecticut and a little bit of Mass. And then I've done spots here and there. I've done, all of Jersey, all of New York. I did all of Jersey with my college roommates. I did all of New York over periods of time. I had a job which sent me up to Danbury, and I hiked sections at night up in Danbury, and so on. I did one thing out by Hershey, Pennsylvania. I've done a piece down by the Washington Monument I think it's in Maryland. There's one on the trail. I think it's right on the trail there. But largely it's been northeast. In 2 weeks I plan on going to Mount Washington and doing Mount Washington. And perhaps next year I plan on doing all of Maine 300 miles. But my plan is to finish around the time that I'm 80. I'm currently in my mid-60s. I want to finish by the time I'm 80 years old and have taken 78 years to complete the Appalachian Trail. I don't think anyone will ever be able to beat that record unless humans start living until they're 150 or something. But that's my story. I'll be documenting it here and video documenting and still pictures. And I have pictures of the flood in 55, which is where our cabin came from. Our cabin came from upstream, which is back that way. There was some rental cabins up there, and they got destroyed, and a piece of it ended up here. My parents took that piece, turned it into their kitchen, and slowly built the rest of the cabin. I have a whole stack of photographs of the flood of 55, which predates me. But I spent a lot of time here. The stream, Dunfield Creek, I fished in it. I found it a couple years ago. There are still the piping that we used to feed our house. Our water supply for our little cabin was the Dunfield Creek. My dad got some plastic pipe. It went way upstream for elevation, and then there was some galvanized pipe. Some of it's still down there, but this is my connection to this land. It's a beautiful place and has deep memories. I owe a debt of gratitude to the Jones family for allowing us to live here and have this wonderful place. I recently went to Ruth Jones's memorial and saw some of the Jones kids who we played a lot with. And one more thing. This used to be with no trees on it. Route 80 is right there past these trees. You can hear it. We used to climb up on this bank and watch National Guard trucks go by back in the 60s. So it's a little different now. It's all overgrown. Across the highway, there's a really steep embankment. I remember sledding down it, kind of quote unquote sledding down it. Sledding down it with the Joneses. I do remember Julie, the daughter. I remember her falling off of our piece of cardboard and us rolling over top of her. I did go there as an adult. It's all overgrown with trees now. And when I saw how steep it was, I was like, oh my God, I would never do that today. It was crazy, some of the stuff we did. I was in a forest fire one time. They were dropping water on the mountain with helicopters. I rode across the Delaware River when I was 5 years old. I took baths in the river. I just had 100 experiences here, and that's why it's my spiritual home. So that's my story, and I'll be documenting this over the next 15 to 20 years.